Pretty much every time we go on the air in the Young Turks, we're very critical of the way that the media covers the election. You've seen us criticize the media time and time again, so let's mix it up. Here is Charles Barkley.
Hey, Ernie, this Donald Trump thing has been fascinating, sad, funny. It's all over the place. He started out insulting the Hispanics. You know, living in Arizona, I think the Hispanics are amazing people. To lump all Hispanics together, that was insulting. Now to lump all the Muslims together, that's even more insulting. Listen, this is the United States of America. This is the greatest place in the world. Do we have issues? Of course we have issues. But to try to divide and conquer, which is what the Republicans always do, and to be honest with you, CNN has done an awful job this election, an awful job. They have followed ratings and sound bites this entire cycle. No matter, I mean, think about it. And I love CNN because they're part of our company, but they've been kissing butt, chasing ratings. I mean, they have become like Fox News for the Republicans, to be honest with you. They follow every single soundbite just to get ratings for these debates. And it's been sad and frustrating that our company has sold their soul for ratings.
Wow.
100% true.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's saying that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Wow.
they transitioned to that because I'm pretty sure that was the sport, his
I think
sports broadcast.
they're going to have him do sports shows on the weekends now. Al Sharpton's going to take over for him.
So no, but that's why I really
Mispronounced
like
basketball.
Charles Barkley, because he's going to tell you what he thinks. Yeah, he's not going to pull any punches, no matter where he is. Now he's in a position of power there because he also brings them ratings, right?
Yeah.
And so he makes them a lot of money, so they're going to be reluctant to, try to put too much pressure on him, especially because he's Charles Barkley. You try to put a lot of pressure on him, he'll come back on there and be like, okay, now this is what they told me last time.
Yeah.
Right? So like his heart, man. He's got that a little bit of power, and he uses it for good. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And he says, no, I'm going to tell you like I see it. And this is what CNN is doing, and he's right. Yeah. So more power to him. And by the way, remember, Charles Barkley's a former Republican.
Yes.
So now he's taking on the Republicans. So there's two great quotes from Charles Barkley in that regard that I love. Back when he was a Republican, his grandma asked him, according to him, he said, Charles, Republicans are for the rich people. Why are you with them, Charles? He said, Grandma, because I'm rich. But then they asked him many years later, hey, Charles, why did you leave the Republican Party? He's like, oh, no, I was a Republican until they went nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I left. They lost their minds.
Yeah.
And that was during the Bush years that he said that, around 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
And so he's like, look, when you're lowering my taxes, it's all fun and games. I'm with you. Yeah, let's do it, right? That's to my advantage. He's the most honest guy in America, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, but now if you're going to invade random countries, torture people, and do all this crazy stuff, I'm out.
Yeah.
We're still invading countries and torturing people. I
Yeah.
mean, under Obama,
That's
too.
Yeah, well, that's true too, right? Less so, though. Less so.
Less snickering about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, less of this. Yeah.
Oh, come on, give me a break. My brother kept us safe. Come on, give me a break.
So we could go back to that.
Yeah, come on, give me a break.
So I imagine he's probably going to be in a little bit of trouble. The selling your soul for ratings, kissing butt, sad and pathetic. But I love that he's willing to say it, because we've been talking recently about, during the debates, how it seems odd that they don't talk about getting money out of politics on the gigantic cable station that's running this debate that relies on money from politicians who buy ads who then fund their operations. So like that, and then you combine it with right there he's saying, so they can't truly be honest about Trump because they desperately want him on their programs. Even Chuck Todd, who blew up over him, or Scarborough blew up. Scarborough's going to have him on the next morning.
No doubt.
And so the media is so essential to Americans, people in general, but especially Americans. It's so difficult to get them to want to learn about anything, especially politics, which is by its very nature for most people boring. It's so hard to get them to pay attention or to learn something or to push past the lies of politicians. We need the media to at least push them an inch in the direction of knowing what's actually going on. And so we have these huge corporations that have the capacity to do that if they want it, but they just desperately want to make money. And they want access to politicians. Like, their interest fundamentally isn't educating the population. And of course, there are other forms of media that don't have that sort of, PBS and some forms of media on the internet, but that they're so dwarfed, even us, aside from in views, in money and in resources and in access, we're so dwarfed by these bigger corporations that don't fundamentally give a damn about regular voters. If it gets them the access and it gets them the ratings and it gets them the money so that they can buy the fancy suits.
I will.
And that's just oppressing.
It is easy to just say, oh, you're just chasing ratings, and that is you have to have integrity to rise above that. But it's funny when it. So I just recently, the Jimmy Dore Show was dormant for a while on the Young Turks channel. I was out winning awards and writing books, and and now we're back. And so we just started up the channel again in the last few weeks, and I put up a video. Some guy made all these, I don't know if you saw it, some guy, instead of all the Republicans holding guns, because they all have these pictures, he put dildos in their hands, right? Did you see that? It was fun.
I saw your.
So I decided, just as a goof, I just did it as a clip. Like, hey, look at this, it's funny, right? That thing, all of a sudden, all these hits right away, I'm like, oh, maybe we should do another dildo video.
Hell yeah.
So you're saying.
And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's how this goes.
Instead of politicians kissing babies, have them kissing.
So that must be pretty. Yeah, I know. Hey, you got Donald Trump on. You can go to Italy this summer. Ooh, maybe I'll have him on. I don't know. Fuck, it's a tougher decision to make than we make it allowed to be.
No. But so Jimmy brings up a really interesting point, which is that when television first got started, so some of you know this, but a lot of you probably have never heard this before. They're using the public airwaves, literally the airwaves, right? And that's what they broadcast on. And they got it for free. Now, it's actually worth billions of dollars at a minimum. Mm-hmm. Now, they got it for free, but it was in return for, the government asked for one thing, that you got to do news as a public service.
Yeah.
Now, for a while, they kept their end of the bargain, and news would lose money for them. They'd spend a lot of money on news. They wouldn't make it back in advertising, because that was the reason they got that billions of dollars of free airwaves. And then at some point, the government was like, I'm not looking anymore. Go do whatever you want, right? And so then they're like, okay, great, now we can make money with news. But then they got obsessed with making money, and it's got to be profitable, and it's got to be ratings driven. So they're like, give me more dildos, give me more Donald Trump, explain policies.
Yeah.
That's boring, right? That we're not, no, that's our ratings drop. We're not doing that anymore. That's out, right? And, oh man, challenge the politicians, but then they won't come on, and then we'll lose access to them. And then we'll lose ratings.
They want access. And Donald Trump desperately wants to be on Scarborough every day. That's why when he says, I won't go on your debate unless you pay me $5 million, and they say, go F yourself, and then he goes on the debate, they need him. Yes, they want the better ratings, but he desperately wants to be on that stage. Yeah. Charge him $5 million.
Right.
He'll pay.
And so at some point we lost the string on that. So now everybody's chasing the money, and there's no public service anymore. And so it's as we discussed earlier in another context, it's how you set the rules.
Yeah.
So we made that an informal deal. We didn't make it a formal deal, and oops, then they decided not to follow it anymore. And so, by the way, and one thing we could do, and I wonder, Bernie Sanders, I wonder what he would think about this, is we could go to the TV companies and go, oh, by the way, here's your bill for the public airwaves. Now, it isn't yours, right? NBC never bought it. ABC never bought it. It is obviously the American people's airwaves. It's public.
Oh, so, how about we just have a bidding? We'll just put it up for auction.
Or we'll auction it, Oh, they're not going to like that. Mm-hmm. They're not going to. Well, I mean, you're not doing the news as a public service anymore. That's obvious.
Yeah.
So maybe we should reopen that conversation.
You're anti-business. Why do you hate business?
No, I'm for the free market.
Well,
I want the airwaves to go into the free market, right?
I think you're letting the American people off a little light.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. I mean, everything I said
They're the
also.
ones giving them these ratings.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, and I criticized humanity, saying that we are impossible to educate. We're not that intellectually curious, especially about politics. We're the problem. They're supposed to be the solution, or one of the solutions.
And we did do a Caitlyn Jenner Kardashian story.
Oh, we do
35
yeah.
to 40 minutes ago.
No, but I have been.
I think that has a point.
No, that definitely has a point about the trans community, et cetera. And we try to have a point with most of our stories. But look, on the other hand, and I don't feel bad about it at all, because I genuinely, as we discussed when I had the sports guys on, I got into a debate with them, and when I had the pop trigger guys on, we got into a Justin Bieber conversation / debate when we were doing thinking every one of these, because I genuinely care. The movies, we got into a whole thing about which Tarantino movies are better. So you don't, like, not every video has to be a public service announcement, right? It's okay to have fun. So I'm not saying like NBC and ABC has to be like even more dour than they already are, right? They're plenty dour. That isn't the issue, right?
Yeah, like Fox News gets to have the 5 because we already learn everything we need to know on Sean Hannity. So it balances out.
I don't care that they do Entertainment Tonight or TMZ. Have at it, Hoss. I'm a capitalist. I believe in it. I'm just saying, could you also do real news?